guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
The OG edition of Write That Down here. Going back a decade plus, the only show that has tracked our statistics on our predictions for 10 years. Showing you how wrong we are on a regular basis. Boys, before we get into the accountability session, a lot of Wolves ownership stuff coming off the board finally, officially. Now that the vote went through, the NBA owner vote yesterday. But a shout out to Federated Insurance. Federated Insurance and the Federated family is here for you business owners. So you guys understand, business owners, the importance of protecting your company, your employees, your reputation, your financial assets, and Federated is here to help with those things. They specialize in working with small to medium-sized businesses, the backbone of America, you might say, in specialized industries like retailers and wholesalers, manufacturing companies, auto services, dealerships, contractors, woodworking and cabinetry companies. There's a full list of industries that Federated works with for over 100 years, and you can find that list at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.
Write this down.
All right, gentlemen, happy Write That Down Wednesday here. Here's how it works. It's 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate like Ty is about to, you can send a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled, hopefully, for some time in the coming weeks and months. Are you guys ready to be held accountable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see.
Who's excited to be wrong? Let's start with Judd.
Yeah, let's see how wrong I was.
Admit you were. 4 things came off the board.
Yeah, and this is okay. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna blow your eardrums out here. We'll start with the red stuff here. You said the Wolves would acquire Kevin Durant this offseason, but won't give up Jaden in the trade.
Sorry.
You said, I know technically June is not over yet, but you said Royce Lewis will lead the Twins in home runs in the month of June.
Ooh.
Now, could he go on an instant rehab assignment, come back on June 30th and hit 5 bombs?
Just take it off. It's right. It's red. It's wrong. I'm wrong.
You said Mark Laurie and Alex Rodriguez will back out or not complete their purchase of the Timberwolves, that something will go wrong. And this was sort of like, if there was one of those graphs, the win expectancy graph, this was trending your way for a minute there, like
Thanks
2 years ago.
Glenn, Becky. They told me they were going to get the team.
And then you said Glenn will sell the Timberwolves to a new owner. This is 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You said this. One of the oldest predictions still on the board. You said this is before we knew about Mark and Alex. You said Glenn Taylor will sell the Wolves to a new owner that has no caveat of keeping the team in Minnesota. So they've been saying publicly they're going to keep the team in Minnesota. I believe 100% they're going to keep the team in Minnesota. The NBA wants them to keep the team in Minnesota. That is a non-factor right now. But legally, you can't put that in the contract of the purchase agreement. So technically, this is correct. There is no caveat to keeping the team in Minnesota other than their good word. So congratulations, Judd.
Well, thanks. I'm glad I got one right from that entire list.
I had one thing come off the board. It was when there was a little bit of doubt. I said, don't worry, no fear. A-Rod and Laurie will obtain majority ownership of the Timberwolves.
That's your only one? Wow.
Yeah, there's
I would have thought that just through the years you would have had more Glenn hate in your predictions.
There's a couple more on here. Let's see here. That still need some time, I feel like.
Okay.
Like, there's like a KG jersey thing in here?
Okay. I just thought as far as the actual sales predictions.
No, you definitely have more than I had in that category. So, listeners, Brandon said the Timberwolves will win the NBA Finals before the Vikings win the Super Bowl, but he put an end date of June 2025 on it.
Oh.
So, got to take it off the board here. And then this is the oldest listener prediction still on the board. Nick and Blaine, our guy from back in the old 1500 ESPN days. And he said back in 2020 that the Timberwolves would be relocated within 5 years by September of 2025. going to be a pretty tight turnaround to make that happen now. So we'll take that off the board. And then listener Shane made me take my headphones off, and just all I have in my notes here is check with Declan at the end of the NBA playoffs for a Mackey-related prediction from Shane.
Okay, so I think this is a hit. I will bring it to the table. You guys tell me if it's not. The prediction was, during the playoffs, Mackey will go on a rant about this is why you traded Cat in at least 2 different games. And I feel like rant is maybe the thing that's subjective here, but I feel like you mentioned something around this. What, we had 10 playoff games, right? How many games did we have? No, we had 15. 15 playoff games. So we did 15 post-game shows. I feel like you probably mentioned in passing, this is something Cat couldn't do twice.
I mean, if this was a court of write that down law, the sturdiness of your argument with I feel like maybe if we go back, I don't know.
Sort of like Cat is the man. Dex.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like, I would be inclined to say it's a hit, but yeah, we probably should have vetted it a little bit.
I felt like I was pretty judicious in my
Carl
Anthony Towns stuff.
Like, I guess rant is the word, right? Rant is the problem. Like, I don't know that it was rant, but you certainly broached
Was
it.
I waving my arms in wild fashion?
Broached it. This is why you trade. I hope the Knicks fans are enjoying this. Of course, Cat has now gotten Tibbs fired twice. So,
you know what? We're feeling generous today. I definitely brought him up more than twice, and it was probably in loud animated fashion. So we'll give him a W on this one. If you guys all agree,
I'm fine with it.
No need to take this to write that down, Corey. Okay. So congratulations to Shane. I'll give you the what you'll see for statistics here won't be fully accurate. I'll give you the accurate one. And then Declan had one thing come off the board. You said the Twins would win. The Twins haven't won a one-run game in over a month. You said the Twins would win their next one-run game. Well, they've lost, I think, 2 of them in the last week. But it's a kind of a win for them to just keep a game close these days. So
that's what I was going to say. Last night felt really, really good, and they still lost. They have lost 9 consecutive one-run games, which is the longest stretch for the franchise since 1973.
Jeez.
And only one person on this show was born by then.
That's incredible. Baseball is so coin flippy in so many ways, and for you to just completely. So you said 0-9 in their last one-run games.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they were like 7. They before that, right? Were like 7-6, 7-5 in one-run games.
Yeah.
Like it's bad.
It's pretty
bad. I don't have any other words.
It's awful.
It's bad.
So here's the updated statistics for this season. The season runs from Super Bowl to Super Bowl. I'm batting 286, Judd 268, Declan 250, listeners 224. All of us have 3 home runs apiece. And then let's see here for career stats going back. So the stats go back to 2018. The write that down exercise before it was fully regulated and formed where we tracked everything actually started in like 2015. You know, it's like when baseball started in the 1800s.
The Wild West.
And, you know, it's like they didn't really have fully formed rules.
Actually, you know
until
what?
Maybe 1900 or something.
If you could get your hands on all the shows going back to 2015, and much like the folks at Baseball Reference, comb through every write that down, somebody could update it.
So
it's
you
like
know
Saks.
what? I actually, because that's our old radio show, I do have a hard drive with every single show we ever did, Mackey and Judd on the 1500 ESPN. So if there was like an AI program where you could just somehow throw all those MP3 files in and then also explain, so like on the Wednesday episodes, we made these predictions that may or may not have been quantifiable. Can you make sense of any of it? But I don't think we're quite there with AI yet.
Do you purposely have that saved, or like did they just?
Those are some gems, man. Those
no,
shows
but like
were-
I mean, how did this happen? Like you purposely saved them for years, or like how does this come together?
Yeah, I think like I know my mom used to like save everything from 2010 through like 2017.
Okay.
And so it fades a little bit in 2018, but that's also when 1500 ESPN faded a little bit too. So thus, hey, we're doing something different here. But those shows do exist. We could in theory. So you mentioned Baseball Reference. There, I think the platform or the group that helps dig up all those historical stats. Like, it's pretty easy in the last 75 years because there's just box scores and stuff.
Right.
But for stuff in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there's a group called retrosheet.org that literally has volunteers scouring the country for if your great-grandfather filled out a box score at a 1907 Red Sox game. They just cobble together archives of stuff and then they load it into Baseball Reference. And I think they've got most of it in there going back, but football's the same way. Someone had to go back.
Sacks.
We didn't track sacks until 1981 as an official stat.
Yeah.
And so someone has gone back, or multiple people, and literally like combed through all the games.
Yep.
Or at least like the play-by-play of the tackles and stuff.
Yes. So we could do the exact same to get our career stats updated back to 2015. We just need a volunteer.
We could. All right. Declan's batting .342 in his career. That leads that category. Judd on the march to 400 career hits with .368. And listeners with 73 home runs lead that category. Listeners, by the way, are actually sitting at, so I said 224. It's updated to 240. So listeners sitting at 240 after the update. Nice job. All right, let's get Ty in here. Ty is our guest listener predictor, making his debut on Write That Down. Ty, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. I do not volunteer for the combing through everything. Just making sure.
Oh man, we had
what
you.
What type of fan are you of Mackey and Judd, huh?
Not 2015, apparently. I apologize.
He draws a line with his loyalty. Yeah.
A lot of people weren't in 2015.
I am from Cincinnati, so it's
Unless you're a 58-year-old guy named Bob, you probably weren't listening to Mackey and Judd back in 2015. So
can't say I was.
Shout out to Bob in Pennsylvania who still listens. Okay, Ty, give us your background as a Minnesota sports fan.
Okay, so I was born about an hour north of the Twin Cities. Actually, I became a Minnesota fan whenever I was playing like Madden and things like that. I just had to find somebody to be a fan of, and most of the time I'd wind up playing with the Vikings.
Wow.
Yeah, like 05 Madden. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like the random ways that people become Vikings fans.
It's awesome.
You know? Just get pulled in. Are you wearing, is it like a Twins collar?
So yeah, it's got a Twins pocket on it. My wife actually made it for me. My son has a matching one. It's kind of cool.
Really?
And so
cool.
you became a Twins fan through your Vikings fandom, or how did that work?
Yeah, that one was actually a lot of you guys. Whenever I was listening to the Vikings and watching this, I would hear a fair bit about the Twins, and I got my jersey, and my son won too. So yeah, try.
Wow. So you're in Cincinnati now, you said?
About an hour from it, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Very
awesome.
Nice.
Well, we're pumped to have you on the show here, and we're excited to hear your predictions. So we're going to start with you, Ty, over to Judd, Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room. So fire it up, man. You're first out of the gate.
All right. First one, I'm going to do a J.J. McCarthy prediction. J.J. McCarthy will account for more touchdowns, passing, rushing, receiving, than the lead home run hitter for the Twins has home runs.
Oh, this is great.
It hurts, but honestly, it's been a while since that wasn't the case. The last time that it didn't happen, if you still account for all of the touchdowns thrown, it still would have hit. That was actually the year that Kirk Cousins got hurt.
Kirk Cousins. Wow.
Yeah.
So Buxton's probably the pace setter there, right?
He is at 17, right? So
it's a great prediction.
If he stays healthy, he's for sure getting to 30 plus homers. So that's it's a nice little bar for J.J. McCarthy to clear.
If he stays healthy.
The creativity points on this.
Write this down.
Prediction.
Yeah, that's one of the best because 1, it can hit, and 2, I wouldn't have thought of that one in a million years. Like how to phrase that or do that. All right. I guess I'm going to stay on the Twins theme here and write this down. The Twins will deal Willie Castro before the trade deadline. Willie Castro will be among those who are dispatched to other teams before the trade deadline.
It's an expiring contract, right?
Yep.
He's just
it's an expiring contract. He can help a team. I don't know that he helps a lot here at this point in time. I don't know.
Actually, thought that one sounded familiar. You made that exact prediction last week, according to our notes.
I did?
Yeah. Your predictions last week were the Wild will sign John Tavares in free agency, the Cubs will win the World Series, and Willie Castro will be traded by the trade deadline.
Oh,
Do I have
cripes.
that right?
Yeah, no. You might. I
just cut and paste what's on the prompter. And so
no, it's got to be
put
right.
It's a game of telephone.
It's got to be right then. It's got to be right then. I'll adjust because I must have said that on the fly and I didn't record it. I recorded something else. So hold on a second. So I need to make a note to record this. Traded by deadline. I'd like to apologize to the committee.
Judd's the guy in the fantasy league here.
I'm very,
It's like the third round, and he's like, "Is Saquon Barkley still available?"
Yep.
No,
I just tried
the second pick actually.
Exactly right. I want Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry, he's gone, sir. Okay, I will adjust. Write this down. I know I didn't make this last week.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
The U.S. will beat Costa Rica on Sunday in the CONCACAF Cup at U.S. Bank Stadium. U.S. will beat Costa Rica.
The CONCACAF Cup, which, by the way, the quarterfinals of, this wasn't even planned. Look at this segue. The 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup coming to Minneapolis. These star players will play in front of the judgmental eyes of the sports dad, Judd Zulgad, at U.S. Bank Stadium this Sunday. You buy one ticket, you get two epic matches, including U.S. Costa Rica. Tickets available, again, Sunday, U.S. Bank Stadium, Ticketmaster.com, and more information, too, at goldcup.org/tickets, goldcup.org/tickets. Maybe when the U.S. dispatches Costa Rica, you can all go out for a celebratory legit pizza, too. Pep's Legit Pizza powering these predictions today on Write That Down. That throwback style, those pizza parlor vibes. A couple nights ago, we threw in one of the three cheeses, melty cheese. I use the pizza cooker, so you throw it in for 16 minutes exactly, maybe 17 if you want a little bit more crisp, and then let it cool for like 2 or 3 minutes, cut it into squares, put some crushed red pepper on it, and enjoy, for my money anyways, the best frozen pizza on the market, Pep's Legit Pizza. And you can find them inside the freezer section of grocery stores around the Twin Cities.
And don't forget, at 3 o'clock, Phil, we got Canada, Guatemala.
Yeah, Guatemala's a feisty club there. Some great midfielders.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. Dex, what's your prediction here?
All right, let's do this one. Write this down. The Twins will trade at least 3 of these 5 players. Harrison Bader, Danny Coulomb, Ty France, Willie Castro, Yohan Duran.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's who Royce wants traded.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, by the way, does Harrison Bader, how do I phrase this question? Does he get even more Harrison Bader-y every single time you see him? I feel like the mullet gets more mullety.
The hat is disgusting.
The hat is completely whited out now by grime and rosin. Mm-hmm. I feel like the uniform gets a little snugger every time. Like this team is reeling, but Harrison Bader remains an absolute vibe.
Harrison Bader is a vibe. Loves himself in a good way.
Who's got 2 thumbs and loves Harrison Bader?
Harrison Bader.
Yeah, that's right. He's a fun player.
Write this down.
He could help some teams for sure. All right, Ty, what's your second prediction?
Okay, so for the second...
Sorry, I got to make a prediction first. My bad.
Yeah. Wow, we are really off the
Stop
tracks
trying to cut
here.
in front of me, Ty.
It was the advertiser in the middle of a thing. We're going on Harrison Bader rants.
Let's go back to that for a second. Okay, first of all, I stand by my Harrison Bader rant, but when Judd tees up a Gold Cup prediction and we have Gold Cup tickets available, I'm not going to wait like 5 minutes.
I'm not crapping on your decision making. I'm just saying we're a little out of whack with
Let's just say the 2 veterans on this show have not been at their best so far. So I'm going to turn it around personally. I made a prediction I made last week and forgot to track it. So that is embarrassing. You know what? It's my fault. I'm falling on the sword here.
I'm going to keep stumbling around here in this episode.
Write this down.
All right, write this down. So the Wolves are drafting tonight. Maybe. We don't know. They might draft a player. They drafted Walker Kessler one time, and then they traded him a few days later. So we don't know anything that's going to happen other than, write this down, the 17th overall pick will be a player who is 6'9" or taller. the 17th overall pick will be a player who is 6'9" or taller. The Wolves have the 17th overall pick. They could use a big, but I'm going to hedge here and just give myself some cover.
So if they make the pick for another team, but of course that guy is a Timberwolves. This is still the one thing I don't get.
Or if they trade out entirely and another team picks 17, I am locked into the 17th overall pick.
The NBA does so much well, and I'm sure that there is a reason why, but I'll still never understand why you don't just get draft night trades of picks.
I think and I'd have to think this through, but like part of it is the league year doesn't hit until after the draft. And and the NFL does it the other way around, where it's like, okay, the league year hits, and then it's free agency and the draft, and everything, all the transactions happen under the new like salary cap structure. But what you have now is teams have trades they want to implement, but they can't put those trades through until after the league year because the salary cap goes up after the league year, and so it's like you wind up. And even last year, people like you guys are gonna go live? They got Dillingham. We're like, we'll go live, but like we don't know if they drafted Dillingham for themselves or somebody else. Yeah. All right, who's your little pal there, Ty?
That's my son, Alex.
Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Say hi.
Hey,
What's
buddy.
up, Alex? Skull,
Right.
dude.
Little
Let's
skull
go
for you. Yeah, very nice.
Teach him the important things.
Exactly right.
Just getting him into a life of devastation.
Pain.
Okay, back to Ty now. I have no idea.
Yes.
Back to Ty.
Write this
Okay.
down.
On that same vein, the Minnesota Vikings will win at least half of the games that Jordan Addison is suspended.
Okay. So if
Whatever
it's 3,
the-
they got to win 2. If it's 2, they got to win 1.
Yeah.
Deal.
I honestly expect them to win them all, but it's easier to give yourself that little bit of grace period, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's 3.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, Judd.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right. The Minnesota Lynx. That's right. I'm making a Lynx prediction.
Let's go.
Will win the WNBA title this season. They lost, I think, their second game of the season to the Washington Mystics last night, but they are still off to a fantastic start. They are coming off a season in which they made an unexpected run to the finals. This one won't be unexpected, and they will win the WNBA title.
Is the commissioner going to be wearing a Minneapolis Skyline dress after the Lynx win Game 4 clincher of the WNBA Finals?
I don't.
Or maybe a Stone Arch dress?
I mean, what
a
are you
little Stone Arch
doing?
bridge?
What are you doing? What are you doing with that?
Okay.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
That was one of the most like. Can you imagine Adam
no.
Silver walking up
No.
there with like an Oklahoma City
But I mean, you've got this,
suit?
like you've got this respectable league now. I mean, it's got a ton of interest, and you do that.
Yeah. And by the way, it wasn't like she changed into it for the ceremony, which, okay, whatever. She was wearing it in the crowd during the entire game.
Yeah.
Actively rooting for the Liberty.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, Dex.
All right, write this down. I'll make a Wolves prediction here. Naz Reid will be a Timberwolf next season, but Julius Randle and Nikhil will not.
Ooh.
So on opening night of those 3 guys, only Naz Reid will still be a Timberwolf.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna pay that dude like $25 million a year, probably should be getting starting minutes. But I don't know if we've like totally proven that he's that kind of player yet.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
I think Finchie does like Julius too. I think that's the thing that might be an intriguing curveball into this entire conversation.
Yep. Okay, write this down. So much Twins negativity here. I'm going to provide some Twins.
Yeah, driven by
positivity.
you.
No, driven by them. I am just commenting on what they have.
I've been a Twins
dug
fan my whole
themselves
life.
into.
Rain or shine, win or lose, I'm a Twins fan.
I know you liked. I know generally your disposition is an optimistic one, and that's how you love to view
Sunny.
the world and
Yep.
the teams you talk about.
Exactly right.
Negative. Byron Buxton. I'll say this, and I'm looking at Baseball Reference WAR here, wins above replacements. Byron Buxton will set career highs in wins above replacement, home runs. Do I want to go a third one?
What's the stolen bases one?
Well, he's got 13 now, and 29 would be a career high. So it's really, I mean, he's kind of tracking, but slugging is going to be tough because he's like,
well, he's going to bring. What about his walks? Because he's walking a ton. But that's 38.
He's used to draw 15 more walks. He's drawn 23 so far. I'd love this to be a 3-item parlay for a potential home run here. So, okay, walks, home runs, and wins above replacement.
Okay.
So he would essentially just have to stay healthy for the rest of the season and just keep producing, which the stay healthy thing is also part of this parlay.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just baked into the DNA of it.
Write it down. You like
All right,
writing
Ty,
things down.
what's your third and final prediction?
All right, for my third one, I have that the Minnesota Vikings will have wins against the Bengals, Browns, and Steelers throughout the 25 season. Include Super Bowl just in case Bengals. I mean, that would be an easy way to. Like I said,
Yeah.
we will
Love
we will
the
have
optimism.
wins against them. I feel like with the Zimmer connection, Stefanski and Tomlin, it's kind of a fun way for me to bash on some of my local friends.
Very
I love
nice.
this. Yeah. I think it's a 3-item parlay too, and there's a couple coin flippy games in there against, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So if they hit on all those, we'll give you a home run for sure, man.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, Ty and Alex, if he's still there, you guys, the floor is yours. Would you like to shout anyone out or thank anyone that helped you get to this peak moment in life today?
So Alex has gone to 4 stadiums with me so far. We're going to Tennessee here in August to be able to go to his 5th, and he's not even 4 yet.
Love
The He's made it really enjoyable for sports. My wife, who lets me, spend my time listening to you guys and all of Minnesota sports. Coworkers who let me, bash on their teams. My dad getting me into football.
Very
Love
nice.
it, man. Awesome. Well, great work, Ty. Good luck with your predictions. Let's see if you can get a home run on the board.
All right, appreciate it, fellas.
All right, there he goes. Hey, real quick before we get to Judd's next prediction here, we've got a bunch of YouTube channels, and we ask that you subscribe to them if you haven't already. If you consume any of our content on YouTube, so you're watching this right now on the Score North YouTube channel. Click that like button, the subscribe button. But also, it is peak reckless speculation season for the Timberwolves in the NBA. We just launched our Flagrant Howls channel a couple weeks ago. So thanks to the 4,500 people that have jumped on board that new channel. Click that like button, subscribe button. Purple Daily, O-Line Committee, and the Score North Twin Show also leading up to whatever the Twins do or don't do at the trade deadline. So we used to have, I think, just one YouTube channel 5 years ago. Now we're up to 5, and we appreciate you guys helping us grow all of our podcasts here at Score North. Pretty soon, it might be time for the Judd's Hockey Show YouTube channel. We got some rumblings. We'll see what they do here in the next. If they make a big move, I feel like it might warrant a celebratory
I was
new
gonna say,
YouTube channel for Judd's Hockey Show.
I need them to make a playoff run, really. Like that. That's the thing.
But if they make like a big move this weekend or something, and it gets
we can
people
do
excited,
it. But I'm just saying, just get out of the first round for once in your miserable. What I meant was, I really hope that it's the state of hockey. We were raised in the state of a pair of skates. Can't get out of the first round. We choke every time that we're around. But no, I would love to launch a JHS channel.
yeah. But listen, it's on you, Wild. Okay,
It is. It's seriously on the team.
Be interesting.
Like
Write
the
it down.
Wolves.
You like writing things down.
Like we were, this state was deemed it's not a basketball town. For how long? Because the team was atrocious.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens? The team gets good. I mean, they are easily right now, without a doubt, no argument, the second most popular men's of the 4 team in this town.
Yeah, I think like about 15 years ago, opening of Target Field, the Twins were a pretty strong number 2.
They were.
It was Vikings, Twins. The Wolves were miserable. It was like 3 years after the KG trade. Yeah. And the Wild they had yet to acquire Suter and Parisi.
Those first few years with them, probably leaped the Twins, like 2014.
Yeah, the
16.
Twins dipped, were garbage. The Wolves were still garbage, and the Wild were probably the second most popular team in town. Yeah.
Yep. And now the Wolves are huge.
Wolves, Gap.
Yep.
And then probably Wild and Twins kind of chilling next to each other.
In other words, Wild, take a step. That's all we're asking.
Go.
Take a step.
Be interesting.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Speaking of the National Hockey League free agency opens next Tuesday. Write this down. Mitch Marner, the much coveted free agent, the biggest name on the market, who is almost certainly going to leave the Toronto Maple Leafs, will sign with the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are trying to free up cap space. They are a destination, in part because they are another team that has no state income taxes. And for all of those who say that's overblown, guys don't care. No state income tax makes a difference, okay? Dummies. Mitch Marner will sign with the Golden Knights.
It makes a difference, but I think all of these guys, they get taxed on a by game basis. So if you play 41 of your games in other states, like it's not like you get taxed only on that state income tax.
But you can declare your residence then, and that helps. Which is why a certain former Twins, now Hall of Fame catcher, might have declared that he was a resident of Fort Myers, Florida for a long time.
Was that for like signing bonus portion, or I'm trying to think.
I'm just saying there's ways to play. Your accountant can play around with it. But it also helps too that the majority, it feels like the majority of places with no state income tax are warm. You got Texas, you got Florida, you got Nevada.
Washington. No, I'm trying to think of the ones. Washington's not super warm.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, Mitch Marner to Vegas.
Seattle.
That was a way of
Write it down. You like writing things down.
That I didn't really need to go on.
Robert Raiola was like one of the first guys I followed on Twitter. He's called this at the Sports Tax Man. It's a great follow. Great. He for example, when Devers got traded to California, the top individual tax rate in California is 14.4%. The rate in Massachusetts was 9%. So changes up some of the money.
Yeah. I'm sure. Hopefully Devers is able to feed his family with the reduction in.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, one more from me. Write this down. I'll make a Twins one. You guys remember Aaron Sabato? Twins 2020 first round pick. He's killing it. Took him till 26, but he's been killing it through the minor leagues finally. So write this down. Aaron Sabato will be called up to the Twins, and he'll hit a home run before the end of the season.
I mean, shouldn't they consider calling him up like now?
Yes.
He's 26.
Yes.
He's 26, and he is their hottest hitter next to Eddie Julian, by the way.
Julian's having a great June.
At AAA. But he's hitting, and I can't emphasize this enough, he's 26. He's not 22. He's not 21. It's time to go. And he was an older first-round pick, and he was like, he's 22, I guess, when he was a first-round pick back in 2021.
Yeah.
And he strikes out quite a bit, but he's kind of curbed that a little bit in the last couple of years. And they need help.
Let's go.
Desperately.
Come on, Sabato. Come on. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
His card.
Let's go.
That's worth like $1,000 right now because he's so hot.
Yeah, I know. Could be. I should have got the Chase Burns. That's been on the hobby right now. If you got the Chase Burns autos and cards, and with the debut yesterday, that is like the hottest card right now on eBay is Chase Burns.
$2,000.
Couple $100.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
How long does Julian have to stay hot for? Serious question. To get called up, Dex.
Well, the whole Cody Clemens thing is cooling off pretty hard right here. Yeah. Also, though, Royce is likely to go on a rehab. I would assume either by this weekend, if not early next week, with the Saints. So that also kind of blocks a potential infield move if you have an infielder that's coming back. But I mean, if he's swinging a hot bat. So wouldn't be surprised. They need offense as much as they need their pitching, which has been the biggest culprit. They obviously need some offense here too.
Does Jonah Bride really need to be here?
Also another one too. You can.
Okay.
Thank you for your service.
I mean, I think I would jettison him before I jettison Cody Clemens, but
that's also he can pitch. So
this is such a sad thing to say.
I'm going to piggyback
Write
off
it down. You like writing things down.
Declan's Sabato prediction and just simplify it. I'm going to say they're going to call up Aaron Sabato before the end of July. They're going to call up Aaron Sabato. I'll say this. They'll call up Aaron Sabato by the end of August 1st.
So they'll trade Ty France, and
I can see that. But they should call him up like now. They're desperate.
I mean, that's the most likely path is you trade Ty France and give him some significant ABs.
Yeah. And Ty France is one of these classic, like, and he's been mostly good with runners in scoring position. Again, last night, though, bases loaded. He's been terrible in his career, and he hits that little. He didn't get the RBI, but a run scored. But like he is just good enough to where you're not gonna just get rid of him, but he's not a needle moving player that helps you really get, especially when you have a couple injured players.
Yeah.
You know, like his he's kind of just a guy, man. Like his OPS plus is 97, which is 3 points below league average. He's got 6 home runs in 76 games, so it's like his power is not nearly what it was 3 years ago. But he's not terrible. Like he'll drive in some runs in some spots, and he can put the bat on the ball. So,
but he's got no future here, so it makes perfect sense to trade him.
Yeah, they just have a lot of guys like that. Jeffers has turned into a guy like that. He's been, last night he had a nice little pop, but
he's solid.
But he's just kind of, just they don't really have needle moving guys. Like look at the Cubs. Look at some of these other teams.
No, they don't.
I mean, how Cal O'Reilly, just ridiculous. Anyways,
the big dumper, you mean?
The big dumper, yeah.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
He's a stud, man. Just towering fly balls everywhere. All right, those are your Write That Down predictions here. The OG edition of Write That Down on Mackey and Judd. We'll hit you guys tomorrow. Maybe we fire some more asses tomorrow on Mackey and Judd. That was fun last week. See you guys.